So this is a very important partner of ours as well as our joint venture with Grey Wolf, which is some veterinarians and some scientists who are doing clinical trials on the impact cannabis and cannabinoids will have on our pets, which is actually a gigantic market and a huge global opportunity as well. Of course, the partnership discussions in all sorts of verticals continues on a daily basis as everybody is thinking about the impact cannabis is going to have on their industry. We, in terms of the challenge of scaling, I mean, we've got a really, really exciting management team, and I mentioned in my opening remarks about some new people who are joining the team who come from some very, very reputable companies who have represented some fantastic retail brands in many, many sectors, as well as a board of directors who come from the pharmacy background, entrepreneurial background, health and beauty background, and retail background as well, which has been very, very complementary to the business as well. So in Q3, we shared our earnings, with the world in a call, and certainly get a lot of feedback that as a cannabis company, we're very, very focused on revenue and revenue growth. We're very, very focused on delivering EBITDA as we continue to grow our business and demonstrate financial responsibility in terms of capital allocation, in terms of thoughtfully running the business and thinking of our investors and our shareholders, both in the medium and the long term, while growing the business and having a really healthy cash position as well. When we think about strategy, leveraging those core competencies that I mentioned really at the outset, we are very, very focused of continuing to be a leader on the medical side in Canada. This is the spear with which we are growing globally. As well, and being a global leader on the medical side as well. We're focused on the adult use market and leveraging the brands that we have today, the 4 brands that we have today, and our ability in terms of our innovation, product development, to really be a leader in and being first to market in product innovation. In Canada, we've just got draft regulations which allow us to sell other products in the Canadian marketplace in 2019. We certainly want to be and plan to be a leader in terms of launching those more innovative products, both on the medical side and on the recreational side as well. And in the same time, we're building intellectual property along the way. Let me see here. So I already discussed with you to be a global leader in Canada and globally. We're rapidly accelerating our patient base. The adoption of cannabis as a medical treatment is something that's accelerating significantly, and we're certainly well positioned to be the leader of that in Canada. This is happening globally as well. So our education of physicians, the standardization of our products, this is really a part of our global expansion as well as continuing to do the research to build the body of research to prove the impact that cannabis has on dealing with various types of illnesses and indications. From a global perspective, we've got a model that we think really works, which is a joint venture model. We find like-minded partners in countries that are the way Canada was 5 years ago in terms of the legalization for medical purposes. We find smart local talent. We share our intellectual property, our know-how on cultivation, on medical leadership, and on innovation and product development to help them build CannTrust in those countries. So we have a joint venture today in Denmark. We have one in Australia, and we're working with a variety of other partners to expand that method and that model from a global perspective. So I mentioned the adult use market and that we're going to be able to have vape pens and ointments and creams and a variety of different applications of cannabis in 2019. I briefly talked about this competency around the science and the innovation in the space. And our focus on nanotechnology, again, which is the science of making the cannabinoid particle, a molecule smaller, so that they can be metabolized in a much, much more efficient way. And the implications of this as an ingredient in whether it's a beverage, whether it's an ointment, whether it's a sublingual strip or spray, which is metabolized much, much quicker from a medical or even a recreational perspective, is a really, really important part of our strategy. What is very, very exciting are the bioavailability studies that we're doing today. So our belief is that with 1/10 of the ingredient that you might be taking today to manage your medical symptoms, with our new patent pending process, that you can take 1/10 of the same ingredient and get the same impact. So we're still waiting for the final studies on that, but the preliminary studies look very, very positive. The implications for that are pretty important, right? I mean, it's a better user experience for patients. It's a lower cost for our patients. And it certainly creates a significant margin opportunity for CannTrust. I mentioned to you, I kind of kept you a little bit of a secret. So we have patents all around the world and building others on brew buds. So we have a patent on the ability to take those biodegradable K-cups in any of these machines that you probably have at home where you make a single serving coffee that will also dispense a reliable standardized amount of CBD or THC or a combination of both in your drink. And this is going to be something we're definitely launching to begin in the Canadian marketplace in 2019. So that's a little bit about CannTrust and what we're thinking and what we're doing and what's unique and special about us. We have a minute, so if there's a question or two, I'd be more than happy to take some. Yes, sir.
On brew buds, what was the structure that you did for the U.S.? Did you do something in the U.S. with it?
Yeah, we had a partnership with a firm in Nevada. But we've sort of severed that relationship in the time being because of our TSX listing. So some of the ambiguity around the rules and the regulations. So that former relationship doesn't exist today.
But will, at one point or another, you be able to use those patents products in the U.S.?
Absolutely. So of course, you know, there's a lot of rules and regulations changing, and as that continues to evolve, we absolutely, and the reason why we've filed patents in the U.S. and Canada and all around the world is we expect that this is a product that is going to be sold globally, including in the U.S.
That's for CBD also?
It's for CBD, THC, so
CBD alone?
we can do CBD, or we can do THC, or we can do a 1-to-1 ratio.
Right, thank you.
We can do that. Any other questions?
How much competition do you have already on the brew buds type pure dispenser thing? How many other companies are sitting out there also by the patents?
Yeah. So the question is, what competition are we seeing on the brew bud side, just in general, but also from a filing patents thing? So two things really quickly on that. One is our competitors have announced that they will be having coffee dispensing capabilities, but most of them we've seen are using oils, for example, to do it, and it leaves customers are not always happy with the outcome at the end of the day because the oil is not actually part of the coffee. It sits on the top. It does not a very good flavor experience. We're actually not using oil. We're actually using an extract bud in a solid form, so it's very different. So we believe ours is better. The question about intellectual property I think is a good one. I mean, there are thousands of patents that have been filed in the cannabis space for processes, for products, for a whole bunch of things. I think, and everybody talks about intellectual property, and I think time will tell about which patents are actually granted and who ends up having a competitive advantage. But this is a space, because of our pharmaceutical and our medical background, we are filing patents when we are inventing things that we think are proprietary. I think the jury's a little bit out on what those patents amount to. Yes, ma'am. I could try. This one? She wants to take a picture. So this presentation is available on www, I don't think you have to say that part anymore, CannTrust.ca, and our investor deck should be there, and this picture will be there with everything. If it isn't there today, it'll be there within a week, because we just tweaked our presentation. Okay, I think I'm out of time, so to respect Bazinga, thank you guys all very much for your attention. Appreciate it. Thanks.